How we doing? Who we got here? I can see there are some people here, but I don't know who. Who we got? Jimmy. Hey Jimmy. How you doing, Jimbo? George. Who else we got? Boomer. James. Hey Jimbo. Who else? I can see a lot of people here. Andreas. How you doing, Andreas? John. I'm doing all right, John. Still kind of celebrating with the football from last night. How you doing, Boomer? Who else we got here? Jimmy. Good work, Bob. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Just having a cup of char. I've just done a gig. And I thought I'd touch bases with you. I just got back from a gig. I was going to play some, but my fingers are a little bit sore. Have you guys been playing? It's your chance to talk to me. I'll let you do the talking. I think I'll try. Bear with me a sec, guys. Bear with me. My sweet Lord. Oh, what a song, George. What a song. Watch the footy on Italian Sky, the only channel I could find. Good match. Where are we? Even if the London team lost. Oh, yeah. I was big celebrations last night. Yeah, it's a great song, George. Just bear with me a sec, guys. I'm just getting myself sorted out a little bit here. I've just got back. 1 second. I just need you to bear with me for 1 second. It won't just be a body shot. I am still listening. Hong Kong, we have to wait. Are you there still? Oh, hold on. I've just got a message through. Wow, a new patron. Fantastic, guys. That's what I really need at the moment, a few patrons to help me on my way with all my lessons and my lesson making and everything. I guess some of you may already be patrons, but so how many of you have been watching my lessons and things? Are you regular? Any of you seen me before, or is this a first time? I certainly recognise some of you people from last time. I'm just trying to see what that last comment was. This is the first time, Alan, yeah? Have you not seen any of my lessons? I'm guessing how long we have to wait for the lesson on Hard Times Blues. I'm afraid, Andreas, that's only for patrons because these guys are really, really helping me continue on with making the lessons. So it figures I have to give them a little bit of something extra, essentially. Now, I do try and bring everything to the YouTube channel at some stage. But I guess, you know, where I'm trying to get a little bit of help to help me on, continue on with the lessons, then as I say, it makes sense. I have to give the patrons something. And I mean, for the price of a cup of coffee, you're getting a whole load more lessons. And not only that, but you're getting the tabs as well. So the Hard Time Blues is already there. I'm working on Downtown Blues in my life. I'm going to be doing a course on slide guitar soon. There's all the complete guide for guitar for blues for complete beginners. The whole 7 parts of that. How to play fingerstyle, there's 4 parts of that. So as I say, I mean, for the price of a coffee, guys, it's a bit of a no-brainer if you like what I do, and it kind of, you know, it's kind of, you're getting a lot more, and I'm also getting that bit of assistance. So I don't want to bang on too much about that while I'm here, because it's just a chance for me to catch up with you. And if you think I'm worth it, then you may check it out and have a look. But I've done so much stuff on YouTube. I think there are around at least 200 videos there now. So, you know, I've certainly trying to help all you guys out as best I can. And I guess, you know, I need a little bit of help as well. And so thank you for all your help and watching my videos and giving me a thumbs up and all this kind of thing. So I guess for anybody who hasn't seen what I do, just to give you an idea, I kind of do quite a varied amount of stuff. You know, anything from current stuff. Yeah, basically, Andreas, all you do is you type into Google Joe's guitar lessons at Patreon, and you'll just get a link straight there, Andreas. And then, as I say, I think it doesn't matter what you donate, you just get to see everything and get to have the tabs and everything. And that's like $5. So in my money, that works out about £3, £3 UK sterling. So yeah, Joe's Guitar Lessons Patreon, and that's Patreon. All right. I sometimes look at your lessons on fingerstyle, but it seems I'm not very good at all. I'm 60 and just started. Well, Alan, I mean, you know, again, I've done lots and lots of tutorials for beginners. So, you know, again, some of that stuff's over at Patreon and some of it's on YouTube. And thanks, Kevin, by the way, for, you know, expressing your appreciation. Is very, very much appreciated. And I do realise not everybody can afford to become a patron. So, you know, that's still cool. There's still a lot of videos out there for you. But look, it doesn't matter how old you are. This is a really important thing, that you can still do so much. 60's kind of young, you know, given that, like, when you are older, you have a bit more time. Okay, you subbed back then, yeah, for Never Going Back Again. That's a very, very popular one, isn't it? A lot of people like that one. It's quite a good one. And in fact, it's fantastic practice for fingerstyle guitar. If you're interested in playing fingerstyle, then I would consider it. It's certainly not for a beginner, I wouldn't say. But if you've been playing for a while, then Never Going Back Again is a good lesson I've also done. You're very, very welcome, Alan. You're all very, very welcome to the lessons. You know, if I can help people in some way, then I'm really, really happy to, you know, that I'm helping people with the guitar and trying to get interested in it. And like I say, I'm essentially just trying to build a body of work. And all you guys are helping me do that, you know, whether or not you're a Patreon. Yeah, that's interesting, playing 40 years and still learning from the kids today. That's a great attitude, and I think whilst you've got that, it's going to go a long way. I mean, playing 40 years, that's how long I've been playing. So it's a long old time, and there's still a hell of a lot to learn from other people. We can always learn something new. So like I say, that's what I'm trying to do, as well as doing songs. I don't just do songs, but songs are a great way for people to get interested in the guitar, because If you start on the theoretical side, then it could be that you're kind of a little bit put off. There's nothing actually like learning a song and playing a song to get you interested, and then you can kind of look at the more theoretical things which will help your playing in some ways. So that's why I've tried to cover various things. So you'll see that I've done lots of songs, many songs, but I've also done lots of kind of practical things. So, you know, just to look through my channel will show you the varying different type of things that I've done, which should help you. You know, there's something, I try and do a little bit of something for everybody. So I'll do some stuff for beginners and then intermediate players and advanced players. And I think the thing is to know where you're at yourself, because you know, personally, I feel that if you try and play a song which is just beyond where you're at, you know, it can in a sense set you back a little bit, and it can also be disheartening as well, I think, if you're trying to learn something which you're not quite ready for, because it can make you feel, oh, I'm not really getting anywhere with this and I'm not getting anywhere. So always be careful of that. If you feel, be honest with yourself. If something is a little bit too difficult, then accept that. But you know, it is always something that you can come back to. So you know, that's the thing, maybe the way to look at it, rather than getting a little bit frustrated simply because your hands just can't do, or your fingers can't do what you want them to. And it's about enjoying the journey as well, isn't it? Not so much, you know, a lot of people think about the destination. Yeah, and everybody's got their own styles there, you know, somebody just saying about playing with their thumb and things like that. And, you know, not really being as good with a plectrum or something like that, or just prefer the sound of your fingers. I mean, again, you know, when you're starting out, you're going to do certain things, and as you progress on your journey, then you're going to experiment a little bit more. But it's a great idea to try and start using your right hand without a plectrum, and even if it's just your thumb for strumming or something like that, and then just messing about really with chords and just trying to pick your own ideas with your right hand. It doesn't matter what they are. Once you can play a song, let's say, then try and play it finger picked with your right hand, no matter how bad it might sound to start with. You need to realize that obviously the more you do it, it's really going to improve. And I think that's probably what opened the guitar up for me more than anything, the fact that when you start using your right hand and the fingers in your right hand picking and doing things like that, your playing just moves on to another level altogether, I think, personally. It opens the door for playing all these alternate bass songs, you know, blues things, and Travis picking, and you know, a whole load of different things that you can do once you get that right hand working. So does anybody have any questions for me? I'm still here. Any questions, I wonder? Do we have any questions? I am back. I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm on the move. And I've got my finger right over the camera, so that doesn't really help. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch bases with folks, really, because I haven't been around for a while. And so I just wanted to say hello to everybody, really, and catch up. Normally, I'll have my guitar and I'll play a few things, and people might ask me a few questions and stuff. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Great to see you. Yeah, so it's just nice to say hello to you all. It's been a little while, and as I say, I've just come back from playing a gig, so the old the old fingers are a little bit sore now. I've got to be careful with my hands because it's a very fine balance. Any good yet interesting finger style exercises, Joe? Yeah, well, I mean, hey, Susan, nice to see you again as well. Um, Any good interesting finger style exercises? Well, you know, I just think putting your thumb on the top on the bass string and using your index, middle and ring finger on the bottom three strings and just plinking about with that, really, because I mean, unless you can do that, you know, there's no point saying anything a little bit more complicated or anything than that. I know what you mean about interesting, but you need to be really sorted with the index, middle and ring finger on those bottom three strings. Just, you know, it doesn't, you can mix it up as well, so you can go down the guitar, you can come up the guitar. So, you know, what I mean is the ring finger is on the E string, the middle finger is on the B string, and the index finger is on the G string. And you've got your bass on the top string, so your bass, your thumb, sorry, covers the top three strings. And then just plink around with some chords, you know, like trying to get your fingers going, perhaps with a metronome or something like that. But you just, to be perfectly honest, it's just time. Most of the time, it's just it's just spending the time doing it and playing it. And each time you do it, you're strengthening that muscle memory and also the actual exercise that you're doing and everything. So that should help. As I say, on my channel, you'll see lots of different finger picking stuff, ideas for different things. Jimmy Rogers, such song. Not really into modern country, but some of the old stuff's really nice. Yeah, I love country. I'm in this difficult situation now in a way because getting the questions and everything now. You're about to go on and play your gig. You put it right, Joe. Is it Joe? Yeah. You just put it right as quick as you can, Joe. It's important, really. Don't want any accidents, do we? Okay, so what else we got here? Dave always says the top strings are the bass drum, middle strings, the snare and the bottom. What else we got here? Thanks, Joe. About to go to the shop and it breaks on me. The more difficulty for me is to keep the thumb independent from the other fingers. Do you see what I mean? That's a very very relevant question, Alan. In fact, essentially, that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the separation between your thumb and those three fingers. And that's what it's all about, in a sense. It's a little bit like a drummer trying to play the bass drum with his foot and the snare with his hand and the hi-hat. It's very, very similar to that kind of scenario. You have to get the separation between the thumb and the fingers. And that's really when, it's really in a sense when you, I was going to say become a guitar player, but that's not totally true. I think that's, as I said earlier, when you really move on a step. And playing, it's nice in a sense, because if you do things the right way and you start off with the basics and you don't dive in trying to do things which are miles too difficult, because that's actually a road to nowhere. If you actually start out doing what you should do when you start out, and as I say, you progress, and that progression is very general, then what you find is it's a joy to play all the time, because it's never really frustrating, because you're achieving your goals. And that's very, very important. If you can do that, so you're always constantly progressing, and you're playing something perhaps a little bit more difficult each time, then that's a great way to work your playing. That's how it should be, and you're going to enjoy the journey rather than thinking about the destination too much. And I think that's a really important point, that one. So take it or leave it. Let's see what we've got here. Do you do any gigs around Europe? Isle of Wight is a bit far for me to come and watch you. Yeah, I don't really travel off the island, Bob. I just tend to stick here. If I go home to Liverpool, I might do something. But generally, I've kind of scaled down my playing. I used to play 5 nights a week, and it was very, very busy. It kind of took the enjoyment out of it because I'm not that crazy about it, you know. I mean, some people just love being on the road playing. Yeah, well, you know, that's so. Yeah, Robert Johnson Blues is great, Alan, and I've just released a new one on Patreon, Love in Vain, which is a great one, and I've made that very simple for people to learn. So you might like to check that out. So yeah, um, where were we? I've forgotten exactly where we were at then. It's these comments. You're trying to concentrate on all the different things. Yeah, people hear the songs you're learning many times and are completely sick and tired of them by the time you've learnt them. But that's just the way it is. I think that's really important because, you know, each time you do it, you've got a song under your belt, and you should never forget it. Once you've learnt a song, you need to learn it so well that you don't really forget it, because then you're building a repertoire. What you don't want to do is spend the time learning a song and then 6 months down the road forgetting part of it or something like that. So really, I consider a song learned when you can recall it further down the road, a few months down the road, because really, there's no point learning all of these songs if you can't remember them. Because from my perspective as a teacher, I think it's more, the idea behind it should be that you're building a repertoire which you can recall whenever you should need to. I learn kind of so many songs these days that I simply cannot remember them all. So it's one thing, kind of, I should practice what I preach, but because I've learned so many songs and played so many songs over the years, it would be impossible to remember them all, I think. I heard quite an interesting thing on the radio a couple of weeks back by a guy, Richard Thompson. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. Very good guitarist. And he was saying that he can't remember any more than about 100 songs. Even though he's played 500 or so, um, you know, the tendency is 100 is a kind of cut-off point. I could probably maybe stretch to that, but you know, to remember a lot past that's quite difficult. So yeah. So has anybody got any questions for me or want to say anything to me before I go? I'm feeling pretty tired today. Yeah, you keep it up, Alan. That's very, very important. All you got to do is pick up that guitar. That's the important thing. And every time you do that, you're improving. It's sometimes you need a bit of encouragement along the way because you can't always see that you're getting better. But just remember, every time you pick up the guitar, you're getting better. You may not notice it, but you are. How do you mean, Susie, exactly, when you say you do the shorthand, like fret and string? I don't know if this is your way of remembering songs or not. I'm just not quite sure. But yeah, tab. Yeah, yeah. Tabs are handy. I mean, obviously, if it's something finger picked or something like that, then it needs to be a tab. If it's a song, what I'll generally do is like a chord sheet. And I think it's, I think I did a video a little while back on how to practice. You might want to check that out. I think there's some helpful tips in that. I need to kind of dig out some of the titles for some of these because having done so many videos now, it's difficult to recall which ones. But I did what I thought was quite a reasonable video on how to practice, and that included songs and things. And it always helps to write out a song, I find. although I do tabs over at Patreon and chord sheets and things like that, I can see how that's essential in some ways. But if it's, like I say, a song or something, you should always get yourself into good habits. And for me, a good habit is pen and paper. Forget all the computers, phones and tablets, and just have a little book that you write your songs in, and then just write out the chords for the song and the arrangements, so like verse, chorus and that type of thing. And then you've just got like a little working manual of all the stuff you can play, and it's a little reminder as well. So I think that's a good tip. Maybe some of you do that, maybe some of you don't, I'm not too sure. Well, hey, anyway, look guys, it's been good catching up with you. As I say, it's been a while since I've been on here now, so it's always good to say hello and see how you're all getting on with your guitar playing. And you're very welcome. Those of you who are giving me a little bit of a shout out and thanking me for things, I'm just glad to be of help. That's really, really good. If I can inspire anybody, even if it's in a small way, to pick up the guitar and to believe that you can do, you know, you can kind of get to where you want to get to. Yeah, bye, Alan. You take care. I think, you know, then it's job done. I'm very, very happy if I can in any way inspire anybody to do things. So that for me is a great privilege to try and help some of you out there. So great to catch up with you all, guys. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. If anybody wants to say bye, now is the time to say it and I can respond. I'm glad to hear you write down a lot of stuff, Joe, because that's definitely the way forward. Oh, yeah. So let's have a look. Yeah, bye Joe, and bye Susie. Nice to catch up with you again. And don't forget, keep plucking and you will get there. And if you ever want to ask me any questions or anything like that, don't forget, just drop me a line on one of the videos, and I nearly always get back to folks there if I possibly can. If you're struggling with anything or you need a little bit of help or advice. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to say farewell and look forward to catching you all soon. Be lucky and